Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little dose of reality. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fence Talk. I'm your host, Steve Molloy, and we are going to have a good show tonight. But before I start the show and get this show on the road and rolling, please hit that like button as you're coming in. If you're on other platforms, wherever you might be, come over here to the YouTube channel, join, hit that like button. And if you're new, hit the bell down there at the bottom and then share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. So, also, remember, we may not always agree everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we do agree on. We are all Dolph fans. We are all Dolph fans. Remember that. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But first, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears and the Miami Dolphins coming to a draw or tie this past Sunday. Everybody knows by now of the joint practices that we had with the Chicago Bears, how that went. There was some good, there was some ugly, and there was some bad. And by game time on Sunday, some of those corrections were fixed. They made those corrections and they fixed some of the problems they were having in the joint practices. And we had a few bright spots. We had Ollie Gordon coming on strong a little in his running. Did really well. Hey, Lou from Dade. How you doing, man? Appreciate you for joining. Guys, make sure you join Lou from Dade, their show. They have a really good show with the Sports Babe there. Lou, you can put your name of your show, because I don't have it on the top of my head, in the chat there, so everybody can see that. And they can head on over there and click that subscribe button. But yeah, so there were some good, bad, and ugly in the joint practices at Chicago. But as I said, they corrected them. It seemed like at least some of the problems they were having in the joint practices. And then when they played the game, they came to that tie, or the draw, I call it. But Ollie Gordon had a decent game for a rookie, his first game of the season, first NFL game of the season. I'll grant you, a lot of it was played against the second and third stringers, but still he showed some flashes of his power and his running ability. So I was very pleased with Ollie Gordon. I think he's going to be a solid piece for us in the backfield, along with Achane and even Wright. I think Wright's going to make the team, of course. I want to see a little more out of Wright. He really hasn't showed me. At least he hasn't lived up to the hype in the offseason about him breaking out and all that. And I get it. It's joint practices. It's the preseason. So, these guys are still, getting the rust out and working on their game and all that kind of stuff, and coming together with some of these new guys that we drafted and some of the free agents. So I get it. I'll put my glasses on here for a second. Joshua, how you doing? Thanks for joining, man. Ollie's even bigger piece now with Madison out. Yeah, 100%. And I was going to get to that. Thanks for reminding me, Lou. Yes, Madison did get hurt, and he's out for the season. Not season ending, so prayers up for that, for his quick healing, and then he comes back next year and tries out again, because he was having a really good camp. He was having a really good camp with us, but thank God we do have Ollie Gordon. I know we picked up a couple guys. Mike Boone. Honestly, I don't know much about him. I know he played with the Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, and we picked up Is it Shampkin or Shampkin or Shampin, something like that? But anyway, hey, I don't know the names. If he makes a name, he shows me something, then maybe I'll remember his name. But right now, I don't remember his name. But anyway, we picked up two more, and then we got Wright and we got Gordon, and of course HM. Receiving group, Malik Washington. I'm getting to like him every day. He's really come along since last year, and he was picking up last year too during the season. And this year, I think he's going to be our number 4, or maybe even number 3. It depends on how Westbrook has made some plays here and there in the game you saw in Chicago. He made a play here, and he's blocked. He did some. He had a couple good blocks and everything. But Malik Washington, he's really has developed, and I think he's developing into maybe our third, slot wide receiver. Taj Washington, another guy that's been coming along. He's a little on the small side. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I don't know if he's going to make the team. Maybe he makes the practice squad. And it all depends on how many wide receivers we're going to keep. We may keep 5. We may keep 6. So we'll see how that goes with the receiving group. We pretty much know who the starters are: Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And right now, Tyreek Hill is dealing with an oblique injury. He hasn't participated in the preseason or the joint practices. Waddle played a little bit today. He was in and out. He had a red zone touchdown from what I read. So it's good to see him back on the field. Now, my concern for me right now is excuse the noise if you hear any noise in the background, because I got the air conditioning going on. I got a fan going on. I'm in the garage. They're working on my air conditioning in the house, and it's pretty hot in there. It was like 100 degrees here in Houston, Texas, so it's hot in the house. We got a bunch of fans going on, but so hopefully the AC guys, they're supposed to be coming tonight and possibly getting that all taken care of and fixed up and everything, so we'll be good to go. So we'll see, hopefully. But anyway, getting back to the game, my concerns is the O-line. And now I know Patrick Paul he's been playing very well. He seems to be coming along and progressing pretty good. I think he's going to be a solid piece. I think he's going to be look, he's not an Terron Armstead, at least not yet, maybe, but I think he's still really a rookie. He only had a few games that he played last year. And he had showed some flashes here and there, but he's had a whole year to work on his mechanics and technique and practicing throughout camp and all that. And then he played it in the preseason, so he looked good. He had some really good blocks. I mean, he made some errors here and there, but I think we're going to be okay with him on a left tackle spot. All right, could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Jonah Savaiinaea is having a problem. He's hot and cold. He was like that in the joint practices. He was like that in the preseason game. He's still developing. We'll see how he turns out. I mean, and we'll get to that piece on Jonah during the latest joint practices with the Lions. But for talking about the Chicago game, he had a couple good blocks here and there. Didn't seem like he had a lot of power in pushing that line, that defensive line when we were down there near the goal line. I was very disappointed in that. That wasn't good, but eventually they did punch it in and everything, but I wasn't really happy with that. And I'm sure a lot of you all weren't happy with that either, a lot of you Dolph fans, and rightly so. So I'm a little concerned. Brewer, we know Brewer, what he is. Austin Jackson's been out. Look, I'm not real high on Austin Jackson like a lot of people are. He's really, in my opinion, he's serviceable. That's about it. Is he better than any of the right tackles we have on our roster right now? I would say he is. I think he's a lot better than Larry Borom. And he's going to be our swing tackle, I think. But anyway, we know James Daniels. I mean, he's been solid, but he's coming back from a Achilles heel injury, so he's trying to get back up to speed. I don't think he's quite there yet, so I'll give him a little, a little benefit of the doubt there. That I think he'll be. I think he's a lot better than, of course, Liam Eichenberg. I think he's going to step up. He's a step up from him, so I think we'll be okay on that right side as long as Jackson can stay healthy. And I think the thing is, see, a lot of folks freak out about this O line. I don't. I mean, I do, but I don't. This team is what it is. This offense, this quick throw and rhythm type offense that's been developed and designed for Tua Tagovailoa is going to stay the same. Yeah, we might throw a little sprinkles of running in here and there. Maybe we run a little better in the inside. That's the hope anyway, right? But this quick strike offense, and we're thinking, by Tua having more time to throw, it's going to be a lot better. I don't see any. I don't see any of that. I don't see any of that happen. I think it's still going to be the same. It's going to be the quick strike, get the ball out, hurry, first read, and if it breaks down that first read, you might get, have a check down, or you might be able to hit somebody that breaks open. But 9 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, you're not. And it breaks down. He's going to throw the ball away. He's going to, get sacked or something. We've seen this. Okay, we've seen this show before, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it is what it is. Now, will we have a better running game? Maybe, like I said, maybe. Okay, we don't know yet. All right, we'll see in the regular season. But that's my hope, is to have a better running game. Will it help? Yeah, sure, it's going to help, 100%. But in today's NFL, you need a mobile quarterback. Period. Look at all the quarterbacks in the league. 80% or more are mobile quarterbacks. They're creating off script. Now they're all trying to throw it on that first read, right? To that spot on the first read. They're all doing that. Okay. But the difference between other quarterbacks and our quarterback, right, is the mobility. And that makes a big difference. That's today's quarterback. They got to be mobile. They have to. And we've seen it. We've seen the evidence. We have evidence of this, of what happens when the play breaks down. That first read's not there. It's either a check down, or he throws it away, or he gets sacked, or he tries to run and gets hurt. So all the O-line needs to do, and it's designed to do, and all that it's been training to do in camp, is to not hold literally, but you know what I'm saying, keep their defensive guy from, coming in and getting pressure to Tua in less than 2.2 seconds. After that, what we've seen, the evidence that we've had in the past, is after that, they start coming in, they start getting pressure on Tua, and they start, in times he gets sacked, right? So that's my concern. But we'll see, right? Maybe they'll be better this year, and they can keep their man out for more than 2 seconds. And we can, still throwing the ball in 2.3, 2.4, it's still pretty quick, right? But Tua was getting it out in 2.0 seconds at times last year. That's extremely quick. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Tight ends, I'm not happy with this tight end group. I know Pharaoh Brown, what came in, he's a blocker. So is Julian Hill. I'm not impressed by our tight end group. Sure, they made a few blocks here and there, but they missed assignments as well, and didn't have, that blocking that I want to see. And that's a problem. Okay. So yeah, I'm not real happy with our tight end group, but again, they're needed more for blocking than they are for pass catching ability. Although we're probably gonna, check down, throw to the tight ends here and there, this year. Finn Sammy, how you doing, brother? Thanks for joining, man. Make sure you all go watch Finn's TV. Finn Sammy has a great show over there. What did Joshua say? Joshua says, death, taxes, Miami can't find a tight end. And when they do, they trade him to Pittsburgh. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Joshua. I agree. I agree. But he was a good pass catching tight end, but he didn't fit my in my box as a blocking tight end. Okay. And I don't really think the Dolphins are going to utilize the tight end like they did with Jonah last year. I mean, with John O. Smith last year. Anyway, I could be wrong. But let's go over. Oh, and the backup quarterbacks. Ewers, he was struggling. He was struggling out there, but I don't think he was as bad as everybody thought he was or thinks he is. I thought he was struggling, but there's some things that he can work on, like that fumble. That's on him. Yeah, that one fumble. But he's a rookie back there, guys, and he's a 6th-round pick or 5th-round pick, whatever he was. Okay, let's not put that, much pressure on the kid, right? I mean, he's already under enough pressure already. He's his first year in the NFL, okay? Let's give him time to develop. He's not better than Tua right now. No way. Give him time to develop. All right. Maybe he'll work out to be the backup quarterback in the future, and who knows? Maybe he can become a starter. But right now, he's not ready for that. Now, could that change? Yeah, sure. Let's see how he does in this next game with the Lions. Okay. And let's see how Zach Wilson does. Now, Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson. We knew what he was from the start. Okay. Yes, he's got a rocket arm. Can he make some plays off script? Yes. But he's not a very good processor, right? He's not very good at reading the field. And we knew that. And he's even said that he has to work on that. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. Let's see. Lou says, feel a whole lot better in the backup quarter department than last year. That's fair. That's fair, Lou. Yeah, that's fair. I do feel better than I did last year. Because I do see the potential in Zach Wilson, and I do like Quinn Ewers. I really do. But he's not ready for that role as yet. But Zach Wilson, I think he'll do better than Skyler or Huntley or Boyle, or how many quarterbacks did we have last year? I lost count how many backups we had back last year. I don't even remember now. But so we'll see. But I'm counting on Wilson to be that backup, right? And in case Tua does go down, I mean, what do we expect? Maybe him winning 2-3 games. Maybe. I mean, that's expecting a lot from a backup quarterback, right? We'll see. But anyway, now let's shift over to the defense, because I want to have a lot to talk about this Lions game coming. Well, not the Lions game coming up, but the Lions joint practice today. But on the defense, special teams. Let me right away. Special teams, they did very well against the Chicago Bears. Special teams, to me, looks like that might be a big improvement from last year and from years past. So maybe we got something going there with the special teams. I know we hired the new special teams coach, Ackerman, I think it is. And help me out in the chat if I'm probably butchering his name. But anyway, so special teams did really well. Let's see what Lou said. Thanks for the comments, Lou. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of you guys in chat. I really do. Yeah, loved what the special teams did. Yeah, for sure, man. we definitely needed that change in coaches on the special teams and personnel. Eskridge looked pretty good, and I forgot who the other guy was back there. Was it Taj? Was it one of the Taj or Malik receiving punts and kickoffs? All right, let's shift over to the defense. Primarily talking about the game with the Chicago Bears. But yeah, in joint practices with the Chicago Bears, the defense was playing solid. They were doing really well. Even the defensive backfield. Yeah, there were some bad plays they made, and everything. But I wasn't. I wasn't. They played. Let's put it this way. They played better than what I thought they were going to play. Let's put it that way against the Chicago Bears. Storm Duck, McMorris, and we got to. And I'll get to Dante Trader, who played in joint practice. Excuse me, today. But for the most part, the defensive backs. The defensive backs had a decent game against the Bears. Now, grant you, they were playing against seconds and thirds and against a third string quarterback, but I mean, they still held their own. They still held their own. They really did. So they didn't look too bad against Chicago Bears. The front didn't look bad at all. I expect more out of Kenneth Grant, to be honest with you. Kenneth Grant, I've really expected more from him. Now he's had some good plays and flashes. Now I understand it's joint practices, it's preseason. By the time regular season comes around, it may be different. But right now, I think he's still developing, still trying to find his way out there, trying to get up to speed with the NFL and all that stuff. So I'm going to give him a little break. The one that's impressed me on the defensive line has been Jordan Phillips. That dude has been playing his butt off. Okay, Jordan Phillips is very powerful, very strong, and he's been pushing the line of scrimmage. The guy, the O-line, and all that back. He's powerful, man. He's a strong guy, and I like him now. I'm liking what I see in Jordan Phillips, and if Kenneth Grant can get it together, and we know Zach Sealer what he is, man, that's going to be an awesome tandem defensive tackles, right? So I'm real happy with Jordan Phillips. He's developing a lot quicker than Grant. Grant blocked a pass, and Biggers almost blocked it. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Grant did batted down a pass, and Biggers had a nice play on special teams. So that's good. That's good from the young guys, right? That's really good. I was really happy to see that. And that's what you want to see, right? You want to see that progression, that development, and everything. So I'm very happy. I'm not saying he's a bust or anything like that. I'm just saying, he needs a little more seasoning. That's all I'm saying. But we know what Zach Sealer is. We've seen him. I mean, I'm not really watching the vets, right? I'm not really watching Sealer and Phillips and Bradley Chubb. We know what those guys are capable of doing in the regular season. Now, what I am watching for is if their injuries have slowed them down a little bit, right? If they're coming off the ball, if they're able to plant their foot, and stuff like that, especially Phillips but Phillips didn't play today or last week. But Bradley Chubb did. And I mean, he's just being, he's probably just going through the motions. We know what those guys can do, but I'm really watching the rookies and maybe some of the free agents that we brought along, right? That's my main concern right now. I'm watching especially the O-line and defensive backs and the front, the front of the defensive line. That's what I'm looking at. Jordan Brooks is Jordan Brooks. He's a dog. He's been making plays. Impressed with Willie Gay in the Chicago Bears joint practice and in the joint practice or not the joint practice, but the training camp. He's been flying all around, has been making plays. He kind of quieted down, though, in the joint practices, although he's made some plays here and there, but not quite as many as he was prior. So we'll see. Britt's been okay. He's been pretty quiet, though. Maybe that's good. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Dotson has been kind of quiet as well. But we'll see. We'll see. Just a little concerned about the defensive backfield still, but not so much in the Chicago game. But now let's shift. Now we're going to get into the ugly. Now we are going to get into the ugly. Today, the Miami Dolphins had a joint practice with the Detroit Lions. Ugly, ugly, ugly. It was so ugly that, except with the exception of Isaiah Smalls, beat reporter with the Miami Herald, who works along with Omar Kelly. Omar Kelly didn't make it over there in Detroit. With the exception of Isaiah Smalls, most of these beat reporters were baffled. They didn't know what to write. And they were baffled. Okay. I mean, they kind of left us in the fog, man, in a fog, because we really didn't know what was going on if it wasn't for Isaiah Smalls. And I know Travis Wingfield put a few things up there, but hell, he's one of our optimistic and positive guys in the community, and he was very concerned. So, if he's very concerned and he's probably the most optimistic beat writer or writer out there, then something's wrong. Something was wrong. And it was. We got beat down. Our defensive backs were getting toasted big time. They were getting toasted big time. Very concerning. Mika made a play, but we know what Mika Fitzpatrick is, guys. Everybody gets all hyped up and, look at Mika in joint practices. We know what this guy can do. He's an all-pro, for goodness sakes. Or was. Sure, he's dropped off a little bit, but he's still the same guy. He hasn't dropped off that much. But who I am impressed with, if you want to talk about the defensive backfield today having a positive perspective, Dante Trader. Coming off an injury. They kept him out last week. And he was making some plays out there. He was okay. What I mean by he was making some plays out there is he was making those receivers pay for it when they caught the ball. And that's what a guy is supposed to do. That's what a defensive back is supposed to do. If he makes a catch in front of you, you better pop him and make him pay for it and make him think about it next time. And that's what Dante Trader was doing, and I like that. I like that. I am really going to be having my eyes on him on the up-and-coming Detroit Lions game this Saturday. Okay? I want to see that. I hope this guy continues that throughout the preseason and the rest of preseason. And he may be a keeper. He may be a keeper because that's what we want to see out there. But that's really all it was making plays on a defensive backfield today. And what I mean by plays is he was popping guys when they were catching it. And that's what you want, right? And he's a rookie. So he's still developing and learning. The front did not have a good day today at all. The defensive line front did not have a very good game today. Grant maybe made a play here or there, but really wasn't really that good today. Jordan Phillips stood out a little bit. He made some plays. He was getting there. Also, let me get these names correct. Derek McClinton, I believe it is, or McClanton. He's making some noise. He may be a guy that we keep on the practice squad, right? Grayson Murphy, another guy that's been playing well. He made some plays today. Okay, so those are some positives, bright spots or positive, that we can talk about today. Derek McClinton, Murphy, and Jordan Phillips again. Jordan Phillips again making a name for himself. Okay, so I was happy about that. Chop, he had a so-so game again. I don't know if it's because he's not playing up to par. Maybe he's slowed down a little bit because of that injury, or maybe it's just kind of going through the motions, and we know already what he can do, and he knows what he's capable of doing, right? He's just getting the rust off. I'm hoping that's what it is. Jalen Phillips did not play today at all, so he's resting. Remember, he got that leg whipped and everything, so maybe they're letting him rest, which is the right thing to do, I think, right? He's a veteran. Let him rest. We don't need any more risk for him. As far as injury go, because he's been injured 2 years in a row, and then he got injured in training camp. So we want to let him rest. We know what he's capable of doing. Let him rest that knee or leg or whatever it was. Who else? Well, let me go over some of these. I forgot to do this. Let me go over the. I know some of y'all don't like PFF. But to me, PFF is one of the best measurements out there to judge or to see how these guys are performing, how they're performing, right? At what level, and this isn't the be all, measurement, but it kind of gives you a good indication of how these guys are playing. So. And some folks can be a little biased, when it comes to PFF. I have to admit, I might be a little biased. Let me go over here and give you some of these. So let me just backtrack a little bit, if you allow me. Let me give you some of these PFF grades for the offense. Okay, for the offense, again, our best performer on the offense against the Bears now was Patrick Paul. He was 84.7. And believe it or not, Braden Daniels was 76.9 tackle. He had a good game. Addison West, I've never heard of him. He was 70.8. I think he's another tackle or guard. Ryan Hayes was at 69.1. The veteran that we just brought in, Daniel Brunskill, was 68.5. Aaron Brewer, 66.5. James Daniels, 64. Anything that's in the 60s is serviceable. Anything above 69, anything above 79 is really good. Okay, so Patrick Paul had a really good game. Jackson Carman was 53.0. Josh Preby was 50.4. Larry Borum was 48.4. Jonas Evanile was poor. Very bad. 43.7, and it showed. Jermaine Ifidi, 27.8. Bad. Keon Smith, 19. Terrible. He shouldn't even be in this league playing like that. He shouldn't. Now, for the PFF top grades for the defense, of course, Zach Zeeler was up there at 90.5. We know he's very good, really good. Jordan Brooks was 85.2. Isaiah Johnson. Now, that's a good sign. I didn't realize this. Isaiah Johnson and Ethan Bonner, both cornerbacks, one was 85, the other one was 84. So that's good. So they had decent games. Well, I did say they had. I wasn't too concerned in the Chicago game. But yeah, Bonner had a decent game, and Isaiah Johnson as well. That's going to move him up the depth chart. Again, Jordan Phillips, here he is, 82.5. Storm Duck, he had a solid game, 80.6, really good game. Kenneth Grant, 76.6. He had a good game. I think that blocked on special teams and that batted down pass helped him a lot in bringing his grade up to 76.6. So he did better than I thought he did, to be honest with you guys. So we'll see. Like I said, he's still developing and everything. He did better than I thought he did, according to the PFF grades. Okay. Is there anything else that I want to get up to? Yeah, we'll get on that one last. There was a thing I wanted to talk to you about too, just for shits and giggles. The Atlantic came up with a quarterback ranking, and they based it on tiers. And this is by 6 GMs, 6 assistant GMs, 6 former GMs, and 5 other executives, 8 head coaches, and 19 other coaches, including 15 coordinators. They comprise this list of their rankings and quarterbacks. Okay, so this isn't fans. This isn't even the players. These are, high guys in the organization. Not saying, that they're God, but we'll go over that towards the end of the program. I want to continue to talk about this Lions stuff. So, yeah, Kenneth Grant did better than I did with the Chicago game. All right, so getting back to the Bears. The Lions. So that was the joint practices on the defense. Now let's shift over to the offense. The offensive line was struggling big time today. Terrible. They were doing very, very bad. They were getting dogged out there for the most part. Patrick Prahl had a couple of good, they had a couple of good runs today, the Dolphins. Now, wasn't all bad. But for the most part, it was a terrible showing. Hell, even the Detroit Lions beat writers, just one that mentioned this. There was like 4 or 5 of them that said things like, for instance, this was the worst showing of in joint practices I've ever seen a team conduct in the Miami Dolphins. They never say anything. Miami Dolphins just got beat down today. Things like that. Okay, this wasn't just from one. This was from several of the beat writers. And again, we didn't get a lot of noise from our beat writers because they were baffled with the way the Lions were handling the Miami Dolphins. Now, grant you, the Detroit Lions are possibly a Super Bowl contending team next year. Okay, maybe. Too early to tell, right? Premature. But let's just say they are. Very good test for the Miami Dolphins today, and they proved they're not a contending team. They're not a contending team, guys. They're not. And if you believe that, that's fine. That you fan the way you want to. That's great. We need fans that are, positive and always see are optimists, they have a lot of optimism with the team and everything. I love that because I need a shot in the arm every once in a while. Because I'm I kind of go over to the negative side. Sometimes I'll get over here to the middle a little bit, but in order for them to really change my mind, to really, me to move over more towards the, I'm seeing some stuff here that I like, really good. They really have to perform a lot better than they have. They really do, at least at this point in time. Okay. Not saying that can't change, okay? It can change. But they've got a lot to work on, especially on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive backfield. The defensive backfield offensive line, they got a lot of work to do. They really do. We don't, in my opinion, we don't have good depth back there at all. If one of those guys goes down on the O-line, we might as well say we're screwed, man. And I'm saying we're screwed not because they're going to be so good that they're going to be, giving Tua 3 seconds to throw. I'm saying they're going to be screwed because they're not even going to be able to prevent their man to get pressure into whoever the quarterback is, of course, Tua, within 2 seconds, 2.3 seconds. That bad, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping they can improve, and I'm hoping these guys can stay healthy. But we've already got Jackson out, injured already, and James Daniels is coming back from Achilles. Hopefully he holds up. If those two guys are out, it's not going to be easy street for whoever the quarterback is back there next year. I mean, we know it's Tua starting out, but if he goes down, it's going to be rough sailing. Rough sailing. If anybody on that line goes down. That's just my opinion. Jalen Waddle played today, made a touchdown on end zone, red zone. One of probably the only one or touchdown I think we might have made. But he did make a touchdown back there. Tua struggled. Tua, I don't know if you saw his post joint practice, press conference. Wasn't too happy with the way things went today. He looked very dejected. I mean, he looked already like defeated. I'm just saying that's the way he looked. I'm not saying maybe that's how he feels. I'm just saying that's the way he looked. Okay. So we've got a lot of work to do, guys. It's very concerning for this O-line, the way we got to beat down with the Lions and the Chicago Bears. This is 2 times that we've gotten beat down. More so with the Lions than the Bears, but it only got worse with the Lions. So if we don't see any improvement in the game coming up, I mean, if we don't see any kind of improvement, or we don't see that O-line getting pressured, to golf. Now that's only if the first strings, plays, if the starters play. We don't know that. Okay. That's what I want to see. I want to see their starters against our starters. Then we can make a better evaluation. But if they're just sprinkling in guys here and there, maybe a few starters here and there, it's not really a fair evaluation in my book. Okay. Sure, we can observe some of these players, evaluate some of these players individually, but as a team, as a cohesive team, as a whole, it's not easy. It's not fair, in my opinion. But we'll see. The game is it's going to give us a better perspective, I think, of where this team is heading. And especially, I think they play one more. They play Jacksonville. And I'm not sure if I guess they have a joint practice with Jacksonville too. So we'll see how that goes if they have a joint practice with Jacksonville. But we'll see how that game goes too. But really, guys, that's all I got for tonight. I just wanted to make those points. And I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. I don't want to sound like, it's all doom and gloom yet. We got to keep things in perspective. It's only joint practices. I know I say it's only joint practices, but you should be practicing the way you play, right? So I didn't hear of a lot of penalties. So that's a good thing in the Lions joint practice today. I didn't hear a lot of penalties. Maybe there was, but I didn't hear of any or read up on any. I mean, I wasn't there. I didn't see it. But yeah, that's all I had really, about my evaluation, at least from what I've heard from these beat reporters. And there was some film of these defensive backs. They were just getting beat back there. And there was some film on X on some good plays too. So look, guys, I'm always going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly. Um, if there's more ugly than good, then I'm going to give you that. If there's more good than ugly, then I'm going to give you that. That's just the way I roll over here at Real Talk Fence Talk, and I'm not going to change. That's just the way I am. And I'm going to keep it real for you guys, at least, the way that I see it. I'm going to be honest and sincere and genuine as the way that I see it. Now, you may not like that, and I could be wrong, could be right. Who knows, right? But the last 3 years, I've been talking, on the Real Talk Fence Talk here, and giving you all evaluations and the way I feel, way I see it. And I'm not going to say I've been right all the time, but I've been right a lot. I've been right a lot, especially on the predictions that I've made and things like that. On pregame shows, and it's played just like I basically felt it was going to, play out. And because when I look at things, I'm objective. When I'm on here on Real Talk Fins Talk, on this show, this podcast, I look at things objectively. Okay. When I'm off this podcast and I'm watching my Miami Dolphins, I'm a homer. I'm going to admit it. I'm a homer. Okay. I've been a fan for 52 years. So that's not going to change. What has to change is the Miami Dolphins are going to have to win us a playoff. Okay. After 25 years, I think it's about time. In 52 years or so, a Super Bowl. So I think we deserve it as fans. We've been punched in the face enough by this organization, especially the last 3, 4, 5 years. So that's all I got to say, guys. I kind of went longer than I wanted to tonight. I wanted to see how the air conditioning guys are doing and everything. So I'll be here next week. I will have a show. Now the following week, not sure if I'm going to have a show or not. I'll be preparing to be going out of town, be heading to Virginia. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do shows while I'm there for 2 weeks or not. I'd love to, but we'll see. Also, guys, I want to make mention before I let you go. Make sure you check out on the Fence Talk Sports Network Extra, Aging and Strong. It's another podcast I have, primarily focused and directed to the 50-plus community. But a lot of you younger guys, you can learn from this too as well, I think, or get some good information. Maybe not learn, but maybe, get some more good information, some ideas on strength training, nutrition. I'm going to have a heart doctor on here. I'm going to have a former WBA boxer, presently a bare knuckle boxer champion on here. That's my plans anyway. So we're going to have a lot of good stuff on the Aging and Strong podcast as well. So make sure you go check. Had a good one last week with Andy Baker. He's the co-author of Barbell Prescription. I think you'll enjoy that podcast. Pretty interesting, stuff on strength training and things like that. I think you'll really like that. So please go check that out. At least give it a like, subscribe and everything over there. So appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe here if you're new, and hit that like button. And God bless, and see you next week. And remember, Dolphins #1, baby.